Yay, Joe's on. Just us again. Another week, another half a dozen empty toy shelves, right? I mean, picking is slim, isn't it? I don't care what line you collect. Boy, pickings is slim. The good news is, boy, Ninja Turtles definitely.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah, boy, I think they might have. I don't know if they overplayed their game on that one. I'm not sure yet, but boy, it looks it, doesn't it, guys? I mean, seriously, there's a lot of product out there all of a sudden. I have to be honest with you. Oh, go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
I was going to say I have seen new retro turtles from the movies, the retro turtle movie set, and the one where they turtles and they transform into they're kind of in boxes. I saw some of those today. First time I'd seen those, and they're still like, I mean, of course those transforming turtles in the box, I think they were like $14, but the cartridges are just like $9. But that's still a good price on those.
I have to tell you, that's what I was just about to say. I think the saving grace to all of that may be that it's generational. I mean, they went all the way back to the very beginning, and the movie figures, and just about every version of the Turtles that has been up until now is kind of represented. So if anything were to save that oversaturation, I think that might be it. Because there's something for everybody if you're into Turtles.
Oh yeah.
I have to tell you though, the new designs from that movie, they're terrible. That stuff is terrible. So
it was kind of that new kind of animation, sort of like Into the Spider-Verse, and it's that kind of, I don't know, it's like a comic book type. I don't know how to it's supposed to be like, it's even supposed to be more 2D than 2D is. Right,
like comic book, right? You know, the shading and the hard lines and the lighter lines and the colors, like an old 4-color comic. Some of
at least it wasn't like that abomination that they did with Thundercats.
Yeah, well, I think
did y'all see that on Cartoon Network?
Yeah, I'm glad to see I'm not the only one that has cat problems.
Oh, the little one, yeah.
I got one laying right next to me right now.
She's my baby. I can't complain. I've never really been a cat person, but that one I rescued her and her litter mates, and they were starving to death. They were little tiny things. We rescued them from underneath the deck of a restaurant that was up the street. My wife and I were out walking because we lived in the lakes, so you could walk up the main road, cross a little bridge, and you had a lake on each side, and there was a restaurant there with a dock and stuff. And we used to walk in the evenings and to see this little black thing poking out and then disappeared and poking out and disappeared. Sure enough, I knew there were 4 kittens in there. One of my daughters was working for the guy at the time as a dishwasher / cook. So it was funny. The first day of school, I took a Tupperware tote and a stick and a can of cat food, and I went up there and set, an old pull trap. And sure enough, man, 3 of them come flying out of there when I set that thing, and sure enough, 3 of them ran right in there, and I snapped that sucker shut, and one of them was half in and half out, and he escaped. And then I got them stuffed in a cat carrier, and they were so sickly. Their eyes were barely open. And something happened to Mom. She was gone. They were all dying. And geez, the owner, he stops and he goes, "What are you doing?" And I said, "You got kittens underneath." He goes, "Yeah, I know. The exterminator's coming today." I said, "You're kidding me." He goes, "I didn't know how to get them out of there. I didn't know what else to do. They were going to die and stink up the place." And it's like, well, I kind of get that. It's right underneath the ice cream window. So that would have been kind of bad. It took me 3 hours to catch this little one here because she was the last one out of the 5, and she was sick. She couldn't make it to the food. So we kept her.
Could call animal control instead of exterminator, though.
But we extremely rural. There really wasn't an animal control where we lived.
Okay. I thought you
just
talked about when you were there at Birmingham.
Oh, no. She's a little Mainer. So
okay.
No. So we had 5 kittens running around the house there for a few days and got them all cleaned up and healthy and gone. But we kept the little one, and she's the sweetest little thing. I don't think she knows she's a cat, so we kind of put up with it.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's enough of that little story, right, little one? She's just going to sit there and scowl at me now, but I kicked her off the table, so she don't like me anymore. We have a ton of stuff we can talk about tonight. I mean, honestly, we're going to see what Mr. John's got going on, and then we're going to talk about PulseCon, which is in 5 days. Do some speculating on that. And share what information we actually do have, because there is some information that we have. And then we're going to talk about the Christmas drive, toy drive / Christmas drive, because it's branched out into more than just toys. And you guys will kind of understand that when we get into that. So what do you want to talk about, John?
Shane, you got my pictures?
Yes, sir.
Just show the first one to get us started, and then I'll. I took pictures this week, so ta-da!
Nice.
Make it a little easier. This is Toy Fair issue number 8 from April 1998. Yep, Boba Fett. Got the wanted posters there. See Han Solo, Chewbacca, Luke Skywalker, and what was the guy from the Expanded Universe? Rendar.
Dash Rendar.
Darsh Rendar. There you go.
Yeah.
So before we go any further with the pictures, I got a couple of letters to read, as usual, from this great issue. So you always got your griping letters, so we'll go ahead and get them out of the way first. Okay, here's one that says, "Dear Toy Fair folks, I have been a Star Wars fan my entire life, and I've collected Star Wars toys since the age of 4. Back in the day, I took it for granted that I could find anything I wanted at the local toy store. Recently, Kenner has not made it easy. Some might even say impossible for people like me to complete their collections. I'm talking about its exclusives. We all been there, right?
Right down.
Collectors must go to Toys R Us, KB, Target, Walmart, JCPenney's, and even individual comic shops to complete their collections. Kmart should have been in there too, because they had their fair share of exclusives.
Boy, they sure did.
Mm-hmm. So we have to order off the internet, call for an FAO Schwartz catalog, eat Fruit Loops and Lay's potato chips, and just be all around lucky.
Mm-hmm.
I'm perfectly willing to go the extra mile to get the toys I'm after, but exclusives are getting too hard to find. In many cases, getting an exclusive toy means being in the exact right place at the exact right time. If you don't know precisely what day a particular store is getting a shipment in, you'll miss the exclusives altogether. The secondary market is always a possibility, but it frustrates me that I have to resort to something so unreliable and expensive to complete my collection. I think exclusives ruin the hobby for my collectors. So this was a guy from Oregon named Sean. And Toy Fair, they responded, "Believe me, Sean, yours is a sentiment expressed by a large portion of our readership. Catching up with the ever-growing amount of exclusives is a daunting task, and it's caused more than one collector to simply give up.
Yep.
On the other hand, exclusives make the hobby in the eyes of some collectors. After all, what good is a hobby where you can go to the local retail outlet and complete your collection in one shopping trip? There's something to be said for the thrill of the hunt. Otherwise, guys with rifles all over the Midwest would skip the pleasure of ventilating Bambi and simply hit the local Burger King. Okay. So again, exclusives. They've been around for a long time, and people has still a hot topic even today. A lot of collectors complain about them. I honestly, and I know exclusives are aggravating, but they're a lot easier to get today than they were back in 1998. Because you have a bigger access to like Target. You go to their website and pre-order them. You used to back in '98, you couldn't do that. You had to wait for them to hit the actual store shelves. They didn't have a website to go to get them pre-order.
Right.
So I mean, it has, and for like me back in '98, there wasn't a Target anywhere close to me, and I don't even think back in 1998. I don't even know if I knew what a Target store was.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, we barely had Walmart where I was in 1998. I mean, barely.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a lot easier. People want to gripe about them, but it's a lot easier today to get exclusives than it was back in 1998. I'll put it that way.
Yep.
And here's what it is. Okay, so they got one that says, "Dear Toy Fair, so Trendmasters is making Voltron toys. New Star Wars movies are coming out. They're finally making a Vader with removable helmet, and South Park toys are on the way. I'll never have to grow up now." This was a guy, J.S. Power. It don't say what state he's from. So Toy Fair said, "See, now this is the kind of letter I don't get enough of. 80% of all Toy Fair mail concerns the greedy toy monger debate, and 15% is wacky I'm hot for Witchblade letters. You'd think the remaining 5% would be thoughtful, pleasant mail, but you'd be wrong. Mostly it's checks and money orders from people who mistake our price guide for a mail order catalog. Losers." So thanks, JS, for adding a dash of niceness to our rancid letters to you. So that's something you didn't see very often, and even now it's something you don't see very, very often is people who's actually happy and excited about toys. One more letter, and then we'll move on. So I chose the letter they sent to Zach the Malmutt.
There you go.
Because he gets letters. Sometimes they're okay, sometimes they're pretty good. So this is a guy from named Art from. Let's see, Emmeett is Michigan? Is that right?
Michigan.
Yeah, okay. Grosse Pointe Park, Michigan. He says, "Dear Toy Fair, I am ashamed of myself. I have turned to the dark side of toy collecting. I really wanted a Slave Leia, so I bought one from a sleazy toy pirate. The pressure was just too much. I had to have that figure. Now it sits up on my shelf, and every time I look at it, I shudder. I have purchased evil itself. I have done what I vowed never to do. Arg! Can you help me?" So Zach answered this letter. Zach said, "Zach knows all about evil. Zach know neighbor's dog named Foster. Foster evil. Foster bite. Bite Zach on ear. Bite John in crotch. Bite head off poodle on next block. Foster also full of whiz. Whiz. Whiz on Zach. Whiz on John's new Camaro. Whiz on John's electric generator. Now Foster buried in backyard. Zach whiz on grave. Zach love poetic justice." Oh man, you gotta love the humor there. Oh man, so we were kind of talking, and it's funny. I didn't send pictures of this, but the very first 2 pages of the magazine. I don't know if you guys remember Hangar 18.
Hangar 18, yep, sure do.
I forgot about them.
Yeah.
This was the secondary market back in 1998.
Yep, sure was.
This is where you had to go. You had to find toy stores I remember John's toy, John's Collectibles. It was in Rhode Island, I think, or maybe New Jersey. I ordered a lot of the Star Wars Playmates from them that I couldn't find around here.
We used to go to Outer Limits in New Jersey.
Outer Limits.
Yep.
What was the one that was real big in Florida there for a while? Amok Time Toys.
Amok Time, yes.
I don't know. Are they still in business? I haven't.
Because they had another store in New Jersey, and I used to go to that store when we were visiting the in-laws, and they just disappeared one day.
Yep.
Yep. I mean, that store. You guys would have flipped if you'd ever been in there, because they had the money from New York City that would come over there into Bergen, New Jersey. Oh man, the stuff they had in there was amazing. Absolutely amazing stuff. A lot of Japanese stuff. I mean, super high-end stuff. So yeah, it was really cool.
Okay. So I don't know what was the second photo I sent you, Shane, after the cover? Was it the ad? Okay. This was in the April 1998 Toy Fair. eBay online auctions. Wow. 10,000 toys for sale, $6,000. Now that's a small, tiny percentage of what eBay's got now.
Yep. Boy, for sure, huh?
This is don't wait for the weekend, and it was. I think I joined eBay April 1997, and there was like maybe 500 or 600 registered people on there at the time.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like nobody'd ever heard of it. In fact, I was actually over in a mall over in Rome, Georgia. They had a toy, a collector show.
Yep.
Where you'd set up in the middle of the mall there, and me and a buddy of mine, we went up there and actually set up to see if we could sell some stuff. And this guy told me, he said, "Hey, you ever tried eBay out?" And I said, "What?" And he's the one that told me about it. So when I got home, I looked it up on my computer because we didn't have cell phones.
Right.
98, nobody had cell phones. Nobody carried cell phones.
Nope.
If you did, it was like when it looked like about the size of a brick and about as heavy as one too.
Yeah, bag phone.
And it's hard to believe that was just 25 years ago, but now everybody's got one. It's like
Yep.
But people don't realize. I mean, the secondary market back in 1998, you had to basically find it at a store, like a comic store or something, or you had to find, like in magazines, go through magazines and find advertisements for different stores to order. eBay really changed the collector's game because you were able to find things that you probably never would find otherwise.
Oh, huge! Oh, huge!
And like
search too.
What's that?
It also killed the search for toys too.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Yeah.
That was there before you had online stores.
Yeah, and then then the online stores started hit like Walmart and Target and all. I mean, doing
Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Era, places like that. They started popping up after eBay.
Yeah,
it was on then.
So it definitely changed the collector's game. It's all these younger people that's in the collecting now. They have no idea what it was like back in the 90s to be a toy collector, because it was. I mean, you had to actually get out and do a lot of legwork to find stuff.
Oh yeah,
and a lot of times you couldn't find it.
I have to be honest with you guys. The 80s was even worse because you had to rely on antique dealers.
Yeah,
because that was it. They were the resource. They would get toys every once in a while, but they weren't coming up with mint and box toys or anything else. They were coming up with stuff that people were finding, in foreclosed houses and stuff like that, estate sale stuff. They weren't, it wasn't collector to collector like it is now.
Yeah. Well, in the 90s, you were getting a lot of the 80s toys from people that was our age that were in college by then.
Yep.
And so they were just selling it to get money to buy their college books and stuff. And, and that's where a lot of it come from too.
Yep. That's the truth.
All right, let's move on to the next picture. I forgot what we got here. I'll lay this off as well. Okay. So one of the features in there was the Unstoppable Force. And so by 1998, Kenner had put out, they started fall of 95 is when the first Star Wars Power of the Force 2 relaunch come out. So they're almost about 3 years into it now.
Yeah, give or take. Yep.
And so obviously by the top 10 every time we look, it's always mostly Star Wars. So here's just a look at some of the new first of all the new packaging. So this is when they come out with the freeze frames.
Mm-hmm.
Right there, and that's what's that guy's name? I forget. I can't see it down at the bottom. He was from
I don't remember what it was.
Lack Sivrak.
Something like that. Yeah, he was from the Cantina.
Oh, the Wolfman.
The Wolf.
Right. Yeah. And if you'll go to the next one, it's got some more. So this was what was hot around this time in 1998.
Yeah.
You had the new Princess Leia, the new likeness, so she didn't look as much like a monkey.
Yep. Hey, not quite as much like a monkey.
You had the Ugnaughts. You had R2D2 with a sensor scope.
Reese, Piet,
Reese, yeah. And in the vintage line, Reese is if I remember right, he's a fairly hard to find figure in the vintage.
I think so.
Am I thinking right, or am I thinking?
Yeah,
I'm not sure Reese was ever made in the vintage. Maybe he was. I don't know. Boy,
yeah,
I don't know.
He was.
Have to look it up.
I think he was, but I think he was there toward the end. So I think he was one of those that come with the coins. And I can't remember. I'm not as much a Star Wars.
Oh, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, maybe. Yes. Yep.
Let's go to the next page. Let's see what else we got there. I think it was like 2 or 3 pages. So yeah, this had the little. I think there were 4 of them. You see 2 of them are in the picture. They were like little planets, but you pop them up and there were action figures inside.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I still got the one that's got the Ewok and it had a glider popped up in there.
Yep. There were 4 of them.
You had the Rancor. You had the dancers from Jabba's Palace from the special edition. Yep. This is 98, 97 is when the special editions come out.
Yep.
I remember that pack was hot, man. People were looking for that like crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uncle Owen, the first action figure of Uncle Owen there in that 3-pack.
Yep.
You had the Rancor down there with Luke.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Going, I think there's one more page there. Yeah. No, okay. No, that was it. Okay. This is Star Trek. Playmate Star Trek. So this was after First Contact and they done the 6-inch. So Playmates at the time were doing some 6-inch figures. So you see those from Deep Space Nine there, the 3rd and 4th picture at the top, and then the first 3 on the 2nd row. Those were all 6-inch figures, and then but they were still making the 5-inch figures, which aggravated a lot of people because now all of a sudden you had 2 different sizes instead of 1. So that upset a lot of people. But they done a lot of interesting characters from that. I mean, the Playmates line, they done a lot of characters from all the shows, and so you see, you got I think that was Core there. I can't tell. The Klingon on the 4th picture in the middle.
I don't.
You got the Andorian down there with his little pink fluffy thing. Keiko O'Brien there on the bottom left. The 3rd picture, Trelane from the original Star Trek.
Oh yeah.
A lot of he was basically like a child to the superior race, and a lot of people believe that was the Q continuum.
Was that Liberace? Was that Liberace? That was Liberace, wasn't it?
Yeah, he looked like Liberace. Yeah, the way he was dressed.
Yeah.
Then you had Major Kira from the Mirror Universe down at the bottom right. So, 2 of my favorites up at the top was Cisco and Dax in the classic uniforms from the crossover episode where they done the Trouble with they took the Trouble with Tribble's original series episode and combined it. Added footage.
Oh yeah. I remember hearing about that.
That's still one of my all-time favorite Star Trek episodes. They done a great job on it. I thought it was perfect, and it was the way they integrated it in. It was great.
Very cool.
Still didn't answer the question what the deal was with the Klingons though.
Yeah, that was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, because they were all in the bar. And there's like, what are they getting so upset about? I said, well, it's the Klingons over there, and they said, what Klingons? And they said, them. I said, those are Klingons. And then they all looked at Worf, and he said, we don't like talking about this time period. So apparently, it's like, well, we don't know what happened, but something weird happened there because they didn't have the ridges on their forehead and all that. But anyway, so yeah, Star Trek, that was featured in here. So what we got next? Lost in Space. Remember the movie that come out in '98?
Oh yeah, terrible movie.
Yeah,
absolutely terrible.
It was definitely not the TV show,
No.
but I will say the one saving grace the movie had. Gary Oldman was an excellent Dr. Smith, in my opinion.
Yeah, he was.
He was evil incarnate. Let me tell you.
Yeah, he was.
And I'm going to tell you, if people always remember Dr. Smith as the scaredy guy that was always running around with Will, but if you watch the first half of the first season, he was literally a bad guy.
Yeah,
I mean, he was mean.
Yep.
And I really thought Gary Oldman done a great job on that part. I mean, the movie could have probably been better, but I don't think they could have picked a better person to play Dr. Smith, in my opinion. But anyway, these is just some of the action figures. I think Trendmasters put these out at the time. All right, let's go on to the next one. Xena was big. Actually, I got Nancy collecting Xenas when we were dating. Back in '98, so she had some Xena figures, action figures.
Boy, those face molds are
yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah, they're fantastic. That's right, Shane.
Gotta be optimistic.
Yep. They look like they got run over by Optimistic Prime because they're
that was a great TV show, though. I did love that show.
Yeah. But back in '98, these were top notch. Power of the Force. So these are the figures that George Lucas does not want to be made.
Oh yeah, okay.
I don't know. Can you zoom in a little bit more on it, Shane? So the Ronto Dung.
Oh jeez.
What is that? I sent this in small size where it wouldn't take so much to see him.
Yeah,
let me find it, Booker. So it's
yeah.
The Ronto Dung Jawa. So you see the one Jawa in He said if you read that, it says at one Jawa says, "Geez, you okay, Carl?" And the one that's inside the pile of poop, he says, "See, he did swallow my keys." And the other Jawa said, "Bad girl, bad girl." And then the Ronto says, "Then he shouldn't be hanging around me bum." Let's go on to the next page. There's like 3 or 4 pages.
Oh, there you go. Luke and Leia making out. There you go.
Yeah, the Luke and Leia's love child, which you can see you can see Luke kind of. It looks like a Han Solo with the Leia buns, and it's got another like a head and torso of some other figure coming out of it. Looks sort of like Gollum from Lord of the Rings or something. You notice he also has 3 arms. He's got 2 on that right side.
Yeah.
He said, second thought. Luke said, second thought. You thinking what I'm thinking? And Leia said, I think so, but where can we find a hammock? Then you got the Star Wars babies.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
IG-88 is a baby, and Admiral Akbar. It's a twap. Then at the bottom you got Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru.
Yeah,
that's just wrong right there.
Yeah, but they ended up actually making those, didn't they? In one of the sets later on.
I think
with the 2 skeletons.
I remember something about that.
I'm pretty sure they did.
Yeah. Yeah, Stormtrooper figured, oh wait, I'm supposed to ask questions then shoot. All right, I think there's 2 more pages of these. So then you got the Blast Hole Greedo. And at the bottom, you got the original Jabba.
The original Jabba, yeah.
Yep.
And actually, if you ever read the original Marvel comics, the Star Wars when Marvel done the comics, the adaptation for the movie, it had the scene with Jabba the Hutt in the comics, and it looked very much like that guy right there in the middle.
Yeah, they released the original footage. That scene was shot.
Yes,
they used it and inserted Slug Jabba.
Yeah.
Um,
And then they had to have it because Han walked around him. That's why
Yep.
they had him step on his tail.
right.
And his eyes kind of bulged out, you know.
Yep. Very cool.
Then on the next page at the top, you got the squished Palpatine. So this is what he looked like after he fell from the Death Star. You know, if you can really see, but that's like guts and entrails and stuff hanging out. You got the absolute R2, which I'm not really sure what that means, but
Absolute vodka.
Absolute vodka, yeah.
oh yeah, okay, yeah, I got. So you got the
Yeah, that's why
glasses.
Lando's pretty well trashed.
Yeah. And then at the bottom, they actually did make a Jack Porkins figure
Porkins.
later on, but
Yeah, and he was fat too. Well,
yeah, he didn't quite look like that one. He didn't,
no, not quite that bad. But that one's funny.
But yeah, that was. So those were the figures that were never made. So yeah, so the figure of the month for this one is Witchblade, the gold Witchblade. The general release, of course, was silver like the comic, but they did an exclusive Witchblade. So I think this is the first one we've come across that hasn't been a Marvel figure.
Mm-hmm.
So this was the issue by issue number 8. That's when I started branching out to other toy lines.
I tell you what, it's a marvel. They actually made a toy of a woman's figure that has that few clothes on it. That's pretty.
Right. Yeah. Well, and like I said, the Witchblade line and the Lady Death line were all comic shop exclusive stuff.
Yeah, they were.
They did not sell them in Toys R Us or Walmart. So
Nope.
And if they hadn't been for the comic shop exclusive stuff, then we probably would have never got them.
Right.
Maybe today you might, but I don't know. I'd still be kind of iffy today.
Yeah, probably not even today.
I think that's why they did the Hellfire Club as an exclusive a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Because the White Queen and Black Queen and, you know, the way they're dressed.
Right, yeah.
All right. On to the top 10. So in this what month did I say? April 1998. You still had so you only had 5 of the 10 were Star Wars.
Mm.
You see there, you got Detective Batman as number 10, Storm is number 9, the Mad Hatter with his robot rabbit is number 8, Crime Stopper or Crime Fighter Robin, and then the Crime Solving Nightwing. So basically, four of the top 10 were from the Batman animated series line,
Mm-hmm.
and you had one Marvel, and then you had Dr. Vazana or whatever his name is.
Avazan, yeah.
Avazan, yeah, was number 5, and then of course the Bomar month there. Go back. Which there you go.
Still right there.
The Bomar month was there on number 4. And then the ceremonial Luke on 3, and you still had the 12-inch Luke Wampa and Han Tauntaun in there.
Yep.
You notice somebody's missing from the top 10.
Harley Quinn.
Or
Harley Quinn. She finally got bumped off.
Finally gone. Everybody finally got one, I guess.
Yeah, I guess
right.
so.
Yeah, right.
After 10 issues of her being on the top 10, she finally.
Yep.
But I'm surprised. You can see, but like I said, so you're like 3 years into the Star Wars line now, so it's starting to. I mean, it's still very hot, but you see that the Batman animated series started picking up then, and, which you notice, every one of these figures except for the Storm were made by who? Kenner.
Yeah.
Yep. So Kenner was going strong there in the late 90s.
They still were, yeah.
Yep. And did I have anything? Oh, I think I had some big shots for us to look at. Some.
Oh, jeez.
I picked out some of the best big shots that I thought was kind of funny.
Oh, jeez.
The T and the Hulk and Spider-Man. that just the Hulk humor is what cracks me up in this. I mean, I put the Hulk humor in. He said, which one of you suckers pinched a loaf in T's sink? And the Hulk said, roar, someone slipped Hulk horse laxative.
Oh,
Hulk humor cracks me up.
that's terrible.
Of course, Spider-Man's over there. I love it when a plan comes together. All right, what's the next one? Let's see. I kind of thought some of the big shots were a little inappropriate, so I didn't put them all in.
Yeah, they were. Some of them were. Yeah.
He says, gee, Dave, how'd you get so freaking big? He said, I've been drinking milk. Well, okay. I've been eating cows, but close enough, right? That lizard, the tall one, that's the 10-inch that KB Toys, they put out all those Marvel 10-inch figures.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were all only sold at KB Toys, if I remember. I don't think they ever sold them anywhere else. And that was actually a pretty good lizard for the time. Yeah. I mean, he's had the cloth lab coat and all that. But I thought that's pretty neat. But all right, going to the next one there. Okay, here we go again, just like last week. He says, so it turns out I spent my teenage years doing community service for egging Old Man Yoda's house. I knew the prequels were going to blow. So here's another reference to the prequels that has not come out yet.
Yep.
So yeah. I don't know if they were just there was news that they were going to do the prequels, and I don't know if they were just automatically assuming that they weren't going to be any good. I don't know. That's the only thing I can figure, because again, this was a year before the first episode 1 come out. So
yep.
So I don't know. That's kind of a mystery there. All right, I think there's one or two more. Okay. Of course, Indiana Jones and this guy. He said, snakes, why did it have to be? And then that guy says, yeah, whatever. So when's the Mosquito Coast sequel coming out? And it's funny, I totally forgot about that movie, Mosquito Coast.
Huh?
And, one of Harrison Ford's earlier movies. I don't even remember what the movie was about. I know I watched it, but I can't even remember what it was about.
No idea.
Apparently the sequel never did make it out, though.
No.
And by now I'm thinking it's probably not going to.
Nope. I think that ship has sailed. Yep.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, that was I don't know what that Saint Skirt. I think that might have been a McFarlane.
It is McFarlane. I'm not sure.
Spawn Series 5.
Yeah. Collectors Club Direct.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think, is that the last one?
Yeah.
A vampire that changes into a snake, huh?
Well, they turn into bats and wolves. Why not snakes?
Yeah, I guess so, right? That's pretty fitting, actually, for a vampire, right?
All right. Well, so actually today it's funny because I was out and I actually run across these. Molten Man, the very first Toy Fair exclusive. Of course, like I said, mine had a casualty. His arm broke off, which I do have the other piece. But I don't know. I mean, there's no way to fix it because the bottom part of that is gone.
Oh, yeah.
It broke right there.
Oh,
I don't know if you can see that.
Huh.
Yeah, I wished I could fix it somehow. If I'd had the might have broke off, but I lost it. I could have possibly glued it back on there. And I did find, I thought I got rid of them. I actually still had the Wonder Man that was from one of the issues, and also the Bullseye.
Bullseye, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So I found those today. I thought, hey, too bad I didn't have them when I done the issues that they were in. But anyway, I did have those, and nothing. Cool. Today we went to, like I said, we went down to Sam's to get our monthly haul on groceries and run by Target. So like you said, there's nothing new in the stores, and
no.
Like I said, we kind of trying to save money for the toy drive and all right now anyway. So I'm not really looking to spend much, but I did go ahead and pick up me a Blue Beetle. So just $20. Yep. This was the Blue Beetle I was familiar with. I did read some of the Blue Beetle comics back in the 80s. And, of course, he come with a plethora of hands. He come with, like, what is that, 2, 3, 5 additional hands. No, wait, 4 additional hands, and then the little beetle.
Yep.
Like
Scarab.
Yeah, the carrot scarab. But yeah, I was kind of like that Blue Beetle. I don't know nothing about this new one, the one that they made the movie off of.
No.
It's got the weird suit and all that. But
no.
Also, finally, I got this a couple of weeks ago from a trade that I did with our very own Mr. Tim, and I traded him that vintage flint that I had for this Mara Jade.
Cool.
And I like the packaging that they're doing on these. They look like books, sort of like books.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's got the open flap where you can at least see what the figure looks like and all
Right.
that. I've got it here we traded here a couple of weeks ago. He sent it to me. I just now finally got around to opening it. And it's a really cool figure. I don't know what it was. Just I've always been kind of intrigued by her character. I never really read the novels or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But if I understand right, her and Luke were married in the novels.
Yep.
And
Yep. That was my understanding, my memory of it. Yeah. I never read them either, but I remember hearing it. Yep.
I do wish they'd had an alternate head with the. I mean, they got the goggles and the thing pulled down because if he
the force is not with her.
She's resilient. The force is with her. She's resilient. So, did you see? I mean, how she's got it on in that picture?
Yeah.
That would have been cool if they'd given her an alternate head where you could have put that on there. But still, I'm happy with it. I thought it was a pretty neat figure. Purple lightsaber. So, Samuel Jackson's not the only one that can get a purple lightsaber.
Right.
Another member of the group, Turtles to the He-Man.
Oh yeah, I forgot about those. I should have got those out. Yeah, I also did another trade with another member of our group, and he works with Tim, as a matter of fact. Shane Harpoon, I believe. Yeah. I don't know because I'm working another trade with another guy, so I'm trying to make sure I don't get my members mixed up. But yeah, I had some old vintage turtles, and he actually posted in the Find It Friday last week, I believe it was, that he was looking for turtles, or week before last.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him I had some that I was thinking about getting rid of. I'd got them kind of for Marshall, but his interest is mostly in like I said, he's going into Transformers some now, and he's still pretty heavy into the He-Man too. So.
Mm-hmm.
I figured, well, he's got some of the newer turtles and all, so I traded him. He's traded me a couple of Origins Mattel creations, the Wondar and the Cobra Khan camo Cobra Khan, which I think I got the Wondar. I know I ordered it. I can't remember if I ever got it or not, and I think I did. But, don't hurt to have an extra one because it's kind of a cool figure. And then he threw in another Stinkor too. But it was a pretty good trade. So I had two good trades with members, and I wanted to show those because that's what this group's about, right? Helping each other out and trading, and I was pleased with both trades, and I got my sidekick back there. Over here. Yeah, you just got to hog the camera, don't you? But yeah, it's good trades, and. I meant to say, when we started, for anybody that's watching, I don't know if we've got any comments or not, but I was going to say anybody that went to the Sand Mountain Toy Show yesterday, drop something in a comment and let us know how it was. I heard they had a lot of comic books there. Talking to one member, he said they had a lot of comic books and all there, and so I'm just curious to what all really they had. I hate I didn't get to go, and we were kind of planning on all of us going, and it kind of fell through. We had a lot of things going on right now and stuff. So
literally fell through.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. For Shane, it was literal.
Yeah.
Hate we missed it. It was the first one. Maybe it was good enough. They'll do another one. Maybe we can make it next year. But because that's only like an hour drive for me, or maybe a little over an hour. But
I had planned on it right until the last minute, and then it just didn't. It wasn't going to happen. So it's just one of those things. And like I said, right now we're kind of trying to focus on we'll be talking about it here in a little bit at the toy drive, but we're trying to hit up stores with all this clearance and try to get it. We'll try to get the bang for our buck. The more toys we can get, the better. So if we can catch them on clearance and get, that allows us to get more of them. So there's more toys for kids, and kids, especially kids that don't have anything or that are in the foster system that may move from home to home, that they don't really have a lot. Any toy at all would just be something special to them. Sure.
It don't have. I mean, it could be just a cheap plastic $5 toy, and a kid would love it. And that's what it's about. So, I encourage everybody to go out if you can. Even if you don't give to the toy drive, our toy drive. I mean, you got the Toys for Tots, and you got the Salvation Army and stuff taken up. Buy some of these cheap discount toys. Folks down in South Alabama, they're far away, but buy up some clearance toys, or hit up Ollie's and big lots in these places, closeout places, and buy them and throw them in a Toys for Tot bin or something, to help out. So, I mean,
Yep.
Those kids deserve to get new toys. They don't need used toys put in there, but they deserve new toys that's never been played with. But it don't have to be anything special. I mean, a toy to a kid that has nothing is still something special, even if it's
Yep.
no matter how cheap it is. So,
Yep.
And we tend to forget because we're so into the detail and the collecting and the sculpts and all that most kids don't really care about that stuff. They just want something to play with.
Right.
And so
Yep, that's the truth.
But yeah, that's all I have for tonight. And I'll pass it on to Shane, I guess.
There you go. Change of sleep.
Well, I didn't do no hunting this weekend because I apologize to everybody that I told I was coming to the thing. I had a fall Friday at work, and I'm so sore I can hardly move, can hardly think. But sorry, I apologize for not making it. But I didn't go do anything this weekend. No toy hunting, nothing. Only thing I got was a trouble wobble in the mail. That was it. But we got a lot to talk about the toy drive, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about it and how and where and what you need to do to get involved.
Yep.
I'd love to have a big turnout from our guys on this because these kids, like John said, they deserve it. They can't help what their situations they're in.
Right, exactly.
And as far as we know, we may be helping the next Todd McFarlane or the next George Lucas or next Larry Hama. I mean, we don't know that.
Yeah, exactly.
Really, we're endless. These kids, they deserve to be treated just like any other kid does. And that's just, I'll let Dave talk all about that. So, and then we'll discuss more about it.
Yep. Yeah, I can do that. First I got to say, you know what? I'm really just a meathead that thought that this would be a cool idea. I surprisingly have so far done very little with this. 99% of the work that's been done has been done by Nancy Maddox. So thank you, Nancy, for that. Yes. She got her contact with the caseworker there in Cherokee County and got us all of this information. And continued to update that information this entire past week. So I had initially said that I was going to do a real comprehensive post on Friday. It just didn't happen. And then we were talking about discussing it here tonight. So I figured, you know what, we'll discuss it here tonight. And the other 1% of the work that's been done so far was by my wife this afternoon, making me this comprehensive list, which I will copy over onto a post tomorrow because I'm a paper kind of guy. I have this phone in front of me all the time, but I have to tell you, if I went to type out stuff on screenshots into this laptop, because it's much easier for me to type on this thing than it is that, you know what I'm saying? It's just I got to have paper. I can't go from screen to screen. I just can't do that. So like I said, 99% Nancy, 1% Amy. How's that? And I expect my wife to be getting more and more active in this. Like I said earlier in the week, I suspected once some of our wives discovered there were babies involved, things were gonna kind of change. So let's see, Nancy here. If anyone wants to message me for more information about the foster kids in the tour drive,
What?
Sorry.
there you
I
go.
couldn't see my phone.
Here, if anyone using the toy
To do
drive.
so.
Okay.
Yes.
Feel free to do so.
Yes.
You had a typo there. No,
Uh-oh.
she went. No, that wasn't directed at you, Shane. That fell free. That was supposed to be feel free. So.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
So,
I'm broke my foot.
yeah,
Just a note on that too, Dave. That this isn't just kids in Cherokee County. There's a shortage of foster parents, and so some of the other counties, like I think maybe DeKalb and possibly Etowah and Calhoun, the 3 adjoining counties around Cherokee, are having to send kids over into Cherokee County to foster homes here because they don't have enough foster parents.
Right.
So, I tell you what, a great thing for somebody to do if you didn't want to do the toy drive, really consider maybe being a foster parent. You could really change a kid's life, and we kind of got went somewhat through it and saw the behind the scenes of it when we were trying to get custody of Marshall, and we got Nancy's mother, and she's a full-time job herself, and if not, we would probably would renew our license and try to help some more kids, but unfortunately we're not in a position where we can right now.
Right.
But if there's people out there listening to this that maybe you hadn't never really thought about it, or maybe your kids, maybe you had kids and they're grown and moved out, and you got this extra room now, just something to think about, because it's sad that there's kids and they don't even have nowhere to put them. I mean,
over 13,000 in Alabama, I think.
There's what, 13,000 just in the state of Alabama. 13,000 kids in the foster system right now.
Yeah,
and that's a lot of children.
Yep.
I mean, really,
Yep.
it's 13,000 too many. Really.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
If that don't break your heart, nothing will, man.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We chose. We talked about it amongst ourselves, and we chose to try to support one of the rural counties, not the bigger counties like Jefferson, where I am, or down around Montgomery or up around Huntsville. Because I have to tell you, they have a ton of services already. They're well served. Even though there's still too many in those counties, there's 16 kids on our list. And I'm going to share that list with you. And then I'm going to give you some other details, okay?
And those are just the ones from Cherokee County.
Yeah.
Right? So those 16
right.
are just Cherokee. Those aren't counting the ones from other counties being brought
Right.
in.
Right.
There's
Right.
like 17 more, I think, is what she said.
I think so, yeah. I think that was the number. You know what? At this point in time, we'll see what we do with these 16. If that makes any sense. So here is the deal. There is a 9-year-old little girl, a 14-year-old boy who are siblings in the same foster home. There is a 2-year-old baby girl and an 8-year-old boy who are siblings in the same home, and that home also has a 5-year-old boy there too, as well, who is not siblings with the other 4. There is a 8-year-old boy and a 6-year-old boy who are brothers, and a little 2-year-old girl in the same home. They're not related, but they're in the same home. 2-year-old boy, a 5-year-old boy, a 1-month-old girl, a 16-year-old boy, another 16-year-old boy, a 1-year-old baby girl, an 8-month-old boy, and an 18-year-old boy. 16 kids. So we got sizes. Look, we're talking toys, and I know that's easy for us. And you know what? I'm going to do this. I think that I don't know what else to do. I think you guys will agree with me, and I know our wives will agree. If you guys just want to buy toys and stuff, you want to buy a toy here and there for the kids, absolutely. When we have to get together, we want new, correct? We want new, unwrapped toys.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's going to end up happening is I am strongly going to encourage you guys to claim a child. And I'll tell you why. Because this need list, which I'm going to share with you in a minute, is a lot more comprehensive is a lot more complex than just toys. Not comprehensive, but these kids are in need of so many things that we take for granted. And these are not expensive things, by the way. These are just incidentals. So here's what I'd like to try to do. This is for us to try to keep it straight. And it's also for us to make sure Nancy was kind enough to get us this information. The reason why knowing how many of these kids are in the same house or how many of these kids are siblings is because there is a chance, if we don't keep very good track of this, there is a chance one kid could get overloaded with stuff and one kid not. We cannot let that happen, right? We just can't do that.
And I will say, Dave, too, on that, the folks at DHR are real good about taking all this stuff and making sure it's divided out pretty evenly. They do the best they can with it.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just an attempt to make sure.
Right.
Look, we don't need to make more work for these caseworkers.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying by that?
Right.
We really need to have our act together here as best we can. So if you want to claim a child, more than one person can claim the same child. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And just because you claim a child doesn't mean you have to get everything on this list. It just means it's something to give us a guideline as to where things need to be going age-wise and such, if that makes any sense. If you don't want to claim a child, you don't have to participate. You can still just donate money, or you can donate a toy. You can donate a gift card. You can, we'll talk about that in a second. There's a ton of other things that you can be doing. You don't have to actually claim a whole child, if that makes any sense. Make sense? Needs and ideas: socks, t-shirts, underwear, pajamas. Gift cards for the bowling alley and center. Gift cards for Nakalula Falls. Gift cards for the Imagination Place. Those are the experience type things. And from what Nancy shared, the caseworker said that some of the best gifts are exactly those things, right? Because these kids are more often than not pretty attention starved. That makes any sense. And they're looking for experiences. They're looking for bonding experiences. So any help that we can provide with that kind of stuff is greatly appreciated. Nancy need to add something?
But yeah, she mentioned board games, something that they can sit down as a family and play together. That means a lot to them, just because you think these kids really are they're in a fall, and they may only be with those foster parents for a couple of months, and then they may get moved to another house, or maybe
I know
it's a chance for them to build quality time. And I'm going to tell you, from the foster parents I know, even though the kids leave and may actually go back home to their real parents, or may get moved to another foster home, they still kind of stay in contact with them, because how can you have a child live with you for 2 or 3 months and not care about them after that? They kind of, so it's still that bonding time, because they need somebody to bond with.
Right.
Yes. Right.
And
And that, boy, I tell you, that whole situation is a discussion for another time. I hate that they do that with those kids. They bounce them, and I don't like it. I just don't. I think it interferes with bonding and trust and security. And I know. Look, I know why they do it. I've been through that system myself. I know why they do it. I don't agree with it, but it is what it is, right? So
I don't agree with it either, but
no, it is what it is.
I'm gonna tell you that, and this is the kind of thing they told us. Of course, they can't tell names or anything like that.
No.
But they said that they had two boys that were brothers here a few years ago, and said they got put in this foster home, and the parents had every intention, they wanted to adopt these 2 boys. And just as they were getting ready to go through to do the process to adopt them, the mother, or the foster mother, she actually got pregnant with twins, wasn't it? And so all of a sudden now they had 2 children. We're going to have 2 children on, and so they were not able to adopt them because they couldn't afford it. And so then they got moved. So those two boys, they did get split up. So they even got split up. I thought that was the third time. Whatever. So they stayed together. They went to another foster home, and then they stayed there for a while. And these parents were going to adopt them. And just as they were starting the process, the husband or the father, the foster father, lost his job. And so then they could. So then they got moved to two more. And they were actually going to be adopted, too. And that's the bad part about it. So, these two little boys are sitting thinking, are we ever going to have a family? And then the next time they got moved, they had to be split up because there was not another home that could take two in.
Right.
And, that's the kind of thing right there that breaks your heart. And
let's, you know what? Let's expand on that real quick. There are two 16-year-old boys on this list.
No, 114, 116, 118.
114, 116, and 118, Nancy said.
I'm missing a 14-year-old on this list. No, there he is, top of the list. There is a 14-year-old. Sorry, thank you, Nancy. 14, two 16s, and an 18. Let's talk about that for a second. These kids are at an age where I'm sure most of them have probably kind of given up on the idea of being adopted, especially the 18-year-old. I don't think this boy is probably all that hopeful he's ever going to have a forever family. He's going to age out of the system and just kind of get dropped.
That's what they say. He'll be aged out by next year, right?
No.
So
Now.
That he's actually aged out now. So if he's still in foster care, that means he's probably going to college because they will allow him to stay in a foster home and keep it up until they get through college. So the good thing to point out on that when it's 18, maybe a gift card to Walmart or something where he can buy clothes for school or something, or maybe just I don't know if you knew what college he was going to, maybe do it like books, because those books are expensive, and things like that. But maybe just some kind of gift card or something for him,
the only other thing I was thinking, and I don't think because of HEPA, I don't think they'd ever really actually be able to tell you, but it's entirely possible this young man has some special needs, so that he's not necessarily 18. Right. If that makes any sense to you.
Right.
Either way, those kids, look, we're not going to buy toys for those kids, right? But I want them to have some special consideration that somebody actually cares. Somebody actually gets it. Because, like I said, depending on how long they've been in the system, my guess is probably a pretty decent long time for some of them. They're probably not particularly hopeful about forever family stuff. And I don't think they're probably all that hopeful about reunification with whatever parents they have left, right? So think about that. Look, there's some kids, these pre-10s, let's call them, right? Those are right in our wheelhouse, right? Those boys, right? That's where we want to gravitate to. But we're going to have a tendency to want to stay away from the older kids and avoid these babies like the plague too. But you know what? Those babies, it's not so much about these babies. It's about the foster parents. I'm telling you guys, we've been there, done that. You're a little older and you take in babies. Holy crap, is it a lot harder than it ever was before. I mean, it's hard, man. It is tough. And for them to know that they're supported in some way is a big deal. So if you can claim a kid, if you can't, get with one of us and we'll figure out what you can do, right? Like, again, socks, t-shirts, underwear, pajamas, the gift cards, board games, like Nancy just pointed out, stuff that should be avoided, and anything that causes injury, right? We all know that. That's just common sense.
No
mouthwash. Yep. Mouthwash, razors, sharp nail files, course, pocket knives, smoke grenades, any revolvers or pistols whatsoever. You get the idea. I mean, we're just not going to use your head a little bit. I am also going to make a strong suggestion on two other items that were not mentioned specifically. Let's not, because we don't know these kids' histories, let's not do the Nerf gun stuff. Okay, makes sense? Let's not do that. And two, having experienced this ourselves, electronics that can get on the internet. Don't, because you can actually be complicating a situation if somebody can contact these children electronically that should not be in contact with them. Exactly. No AR-15s. None.
Imagine showing you can.
Who put that comment on there?
Oh, Timothy.
That's what I figured. I had a feeling.
Timothy. So, look, this, I know it's probably sounding more complicated than it is, but it's not, because here's the deal. You just donate, right? Get it to one of us or get it ready. What's that?
Lunch boxes, book bags, toothbrushes, things like that is definitely things that they need.
Yeah. Yep. Wife's been picking up them little cooler bags, right? They're nothing but little lunch boxes.
Yeah, trapper keepers, things like that, especially school items.
Look, I would like to be able to do, if we do end up with some monetary gifts, if that's easier for everybody, that's cool too. I would love to be able to go on a shopping trip, because I know our wives would love that, right? I mean, I can see our 3 wives pouring through baby clothes.
Oh yeah,
and coming up with stuff.
Any of that stuff.
Also,
I have
let's remind everybody to sticky note their name on the things for the drawing.
Oh yeah. So
we need to keep track of that, because
I'm gonna tell you.
I don't care if it's a pack of socks that costs $15 or if it's a toy or whatever, right? This is the Larry Hama print. This is live ink signed by Larry Hama, right? We watched him do this.
We watched him.
This is going to somebody who donates any number of $15 or up items, right? Every $15 or more gets you a ticket into this drawing. So yes, Shane is right. Make sure we have note somewhere. If you get stuff to us, make sure we know who it's coming from, okay? Because your name is going to go in the drawing. This is going to go home with somebody in this protective case. I'm not going to frame it. You guys can do that yourselves, right? This is going to go home with somebody. Okay? So that's that, right?
And also, all of us, just so everyone knows, all the admins has removed their names from the drawing. So it will be a member of the group that wins this.
Yes. Right. Or somebody from outside the group, because I wanted to talk about this too. You got coworkers. You got companies that might want to sponsor kids. Let's go, right? I mean, seriously, let's go. We're talking 16 kids is a lot of kids. This is an expensive proposition. Let's not kidding ourselves here. This is not a cheap thing. But it's going to be well worth it, guys. I'm telling you right now, this will be hugely well worth it. We'll all be able to sit with our families on Christmas morning, knowing somewhere there are a huge number of households in Cherokee County that are having a good Christmas. Right? That's a huge deal. That's a huge deal. So we are going to have a get-together. We got to pick a date, guys. We got to get this figured out. Sometime in late October, early November. To get together, get everything sorted out, get that print given away, and if we have to, go on a shopping trip, and then everything's got to be wrapped up and ready to go. Okay.
What's the deadline date to have the toys to them?
It's going to be 100% dependent on what we come up with for a date to get together. It's going to be, I guarantee you, it's not going to be any later than that second week in November. Even though the caseworker set it for December 11th, we're going to want this. We're going to want to be out of this before Thanksgiving, or we're just going to get run over by the holiday.
And I'll say this too. Nancy and I will be glad to travel as far as Birmingham and Huntsville, probably even to Montgomery to pick up stuff.
As will I.
Yeah, same here.
And we can
we'll go where we got to go to get stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you call us or you send us a message and say, "Hey, I got a bunch of stuff. I need y'all to come pick it up," one of us will be there, guaranteed.
Right. And I was going to say, and two, when you go to Walmart, like I said, the clearance toys, you got you can get more bang for your buck there. Don't forget about the clearance clothes. We got these today, $1 a piece.
Yep.
And Nancy bought. This is just a couple examples. We bought a bunch of clothes for little kids for $1 a piece, $1 a piece.
Yes.
So go through the clothes areas and look for clearance clothes. Look for those yellow tags.
Yep.
$1, $2, $3 items. If
Guys.
you give us 20 items that's $3 a piece, I say put their name in there for the drawing on that.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I got a problem with that.
if it's clothes and stuff like that, I ain't got no problem with it.
No, I don't either. You're going to get sizes. Guys, this is going to sound stupid, but you know what? I'm telling you right now, take a minute and go talk to your wife or your girlfriend or whatever. I'm telling you, you tell them that they have an opportunity to go clothes shopping for some needy kids and you've got sizes, they're going to be all over it.
Oh, yeah.
Right? If you don't want to do it, I guarantee you your wives will. I guarantee it. Because that's what they do, right? They love that stuff. So,
Those $6, $5 outfits.
Yeah, Nancy got full outfits, like shirt and top and all for like $3 and $5.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. Exactly. So yeah, this could be huge.
Pajama sets for $4 right now.
Yeah, we stopped at the Roses and found pajama sets for $4, full sets and things. Don't you got it? Like I said, you got Ollie's, you got Big Lots, you got Bargain Hunt, you got Dirt Cheap, Dollar General. Places that you get stuff cheap.
Dollar Tree has clothes now.
Yeah, even Dollar Tree's got a few clothes.
Yeah. This is easy. Seriously, this is easy. So there'll be a more complete, comprehensive listing put out tomorrow. You'll have all the information that you need that you can screenshot and keep with you. I think is the best way of doing it for some of us. And that's it. I expect, I really genuinely do, guys. I expect by the end of the day having quite a few of these kids claimed.
And don't be afraid to ask your families to help.
Exactly.
Sunday, we're having our Christmas drawing. We always draw names for Christmas because our family's so large.
Right.
We're doing that Sunday, and I'm going to pop the question on every one of them there that day.
Yep.
To help a kid or to donate or buy stuff, And, your family will do that.
Yep.
At least I know mine will.
Oh, yeah. No, there ain't a doubt in my mind. Start telling people what you're doing where you can get all the support you want if you just go out and get it, right? That's just that's
and
it.
Businesses, you can even ask businesses.
Yep.
I'm even going to ask my local Walmarts if they would be interested in donating to it.
It ain't gonna hurt to ask.
I'm sure I'll probably have to give them some kind of receipt or something, but that ain't a problem. Not a problem at all.
Yeah.
Just like when we went into the Augusta at the Joe Fest, we went in with that mind. All they can say is no.
That's right.
And it ain't going to kill you to ask.
Nope.
And we got some really great guests from that. And people have a giving heart. You just got to talk
give
to
them
them
the opportunity. Right.
A lot of people, especially your family members, they don't know about things like this. They don't think about that. But once you bring it to their attention, they're going to think about it.
Yep. All you got to do is ask. What you got, John?
Yeah. If you work for a big corporation or something, just go to the HR department and say, hey, how about you ever thought about that? That's what basically, actually, we started the toy drive here about 3 years ago where I work at. But they did the first couple of years, they just give it to like Toys for Tots or whatever. And so I told them last year, I said, have y'all thought about the foster system and helping those kids out? So that's when we got into, we give them the contact information and we were doing it as a company. We put this huge box. It's like 4 foot. It fits on a pallet, a 40 by 48 pallet, 42 by 48 pallet. And then it's 4 foot tall. And we filled that box slap full and took up there. And the company, our owners, they even donated. I think they donated $1,000. Wrote them a check for $1,000 too. Yeah. And you remind them, say, hey, look, it's a good tax write off. Help the company out.
Yep.
Make the company look good in the community.
That's
and not that that'd be the only reason they do it, but you know how big corporations are. They're always looking for something to help boost their image in the community.
Oh yeah, big time.
And
Yep.
and it's a way to help kids and all too. So
Yep, absolutely.
That's also some other information we need to get if anyone wants to write a check, who it needs to be written to. So
yeah,
that they
Nancy
can
will work
Yeah.
on that tomorrow.
donation.
Nancy said she'd work on that tomorrow if somebody wants to write a check. Hey, like I said, think about this, because these are families, foster families. If they got 5 kids or 3 or 4 kids, and then you got 2 parents, maybe $100 gift card to Zaxby's or Jack's or something, so that the whole family can go out and eat a
Oh,
meal.
yeah.
together.
There's a ton of easy things to do here.
Yeah.
Ton of easy things to do.
Or just Walmart so they can go buy Thanksgiving or Christmas
Yeah.
dinner,
Right.
something like
Right.
that.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Now look. Okay, here's the thing. I got to say this, and I think this is probably common sense, but I'm going to say it anyways. No one is going to be given the contact information for any of these families. We do
No.
not have that information. You're not going to have that information. You are not going to be able to write a check directly to the family. It's not going to happen. Okay. That's why gift cards are such a great thing, because those can just go from one hand to another directly to the family, and no one cares who anybody's name is. Right. So I don't believe anybody's going to do that, but you know how it goes. We'll say it anyways, just for the record.
And you can contact them and sponsor a family. We did that last year for Christmas. We actually sponsored a family, and they told us, each one of the kids had kind of a wish list, what they'd like. And how old was the youngest boy? The oldest boy. It was a boy of
13, 9,
13.
and like 2 or something.
So it was like 13, 9, and 2. And we asked the caseworker, can you find out what they want?
Mm-hmm.
They come back and said, well, the 13-year-old boy said not to buy nothing for him, get for his kids. For his brother,
the little ones. Yeah.
He put himself aside. He's 13-year-old kid now.
Yeah.
13-year-old. And he said, don't buy me nothing, just get something for my brother and sister.
Right.
And then finally we said, well, we want to know. And finally said he wouldn't mind having a bicycle. So we made sure we got him a bicycle.
Yeah.
And, we sponsored that family. There was 3 kids. And then we also, Nancy put a box together with board games and a Christmas Eve box from the open Christmas Eve. Had some games to play, some hot chocolate, some treats and things like that they could sit down on Christmas Eve as a family and do. We probably didn't spend $300-400 at the most.
Yeah.
On it. The bicycle was a big chunk of that, but
yeah, exactly.
it wasn't that. You think, well, that could be a lot of money, but really, no, it's not. Because heck, we spend $200 every time we go to Walmart just in one just buying groceries.
I know.
And that sounds like a lot, but you don't have to do that. But that things you can think of things to do, and
look, guys, get creative. We don't have to tell you guys, you're all adults. You got your own ideas about this stuff. There's 901 different things that can be done here. Let's just do it. The point is, let's just do it. So more details as we have them. How's that? We're working on wish lists and stuff like that. But in the meantime, there's a ton of stuff that can be gotten with the information we're going to post tomorrow. Sizes and stuff alone will keep you busy if you choose. But guys, I'm serious. If you can, claim a kid, claim 2 kids. And if you see a kid that's been claimed, that doesn't mean you can't claim them too. Right? It's a good guideline for you to go by, right? Gender, age. Just do it.
I'd claim them all.
Claim them all.
If I can. But I am. I'm going to buy something for every kid in that list. So,
John. I see your supervision's talking to you.
Oh, she reminded me about not to forget about mentioning the trunk or treat thing too. So.
Oh yes.
Oh yes. Yep.
We're Nancy and I are they're doing a trunk or treat on October the 27th. It's a Friday from 4:30 to 6:30, I think. And we're going to go represent the group. So if any of you guys out there watching would like to come up and join us and help out, that'd be great. Nancy's going to set up she got all kind of inflatable stuff and all she's gonna do for the kids. And I don't know, we're gonna try to get a banner for the group made up, and we're gonna put a box out there so people can donate toys if they come by too,
Yep.
and or whatever for the group, and we want to get the word out that the Alabama Toy Mercs are not just about buying toys for themselves. We want to help people if we can.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you, when you bless others, you get it back tenfold. I'm going to tell you my experience. I mean, you get it back, and so it's not like
It's not a waste.
It's not a waste.
And
if nothing else, just the satisfaction of knowing that you helped somebody. That's enough for me. I mean,
Yep.
when we got up last Christmas, we got up and we knew that there was a family out there that had stuff to give the kids for Christmas. And and actually Marshall, he loved it. It's a teaching experience, teaching him to think of others, not to be selfish and think of others. But he was excited. He was excited about it. He was excited about doing it. And and like Nate said, when he first come here, it was like he wanted this, he wanted that, and me. But then we went out shopping for him kids. He said, "Oh, you think they'd like this, or you think they'd like that?" And we need that kind of teaching today in this world that we're in.
Oh yeah.
Because this whole world, the civilization as a whole today, it's all about me and all about what I can get and all about what I can do. And that's what society is teaching us today. We need some more of that. Let's think of others and put others first.
Yep. Couldn't agree more.
Just the thought of knowing those kids are going to wake up Christmas morning with something they might not have had before, that will put happiness in your heart right there and a smile on your face.
Yeah, it should.
I mean, they shouldn't. They're going to be very, very, very appreciative of it.
Yep.
Nancy had another good thought. You could, if you want to do a stocking and stock it full of stuff for these kids, and you can put a little tag, 11-year-old boy, or 8-year-old girl, or whatever, off the list. Make a tag for them, and do them stockings with stuff in them. Right there.
Yep. No doubt.
Full of candy.
Yeah. Put some candy. Drop a $5 or a $10 bill in there for a kid that don't have nothing. I mean, then they got money. They can actually go buy something on their own.
Yeah.
That means a lot to kids to be able to go up there.
It does, yeah.
And be able to go up there and actually buy it themselves. It makes them, it makes them. Well, it teaches them how to value money and how to, Yeah. I mean, that's what we try to do with Marshall. We teach him, hey, if you want something, you got to save up and get it. We're not just going to go buy it for you.
Yeah.
And
that's why my boys pay rent.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's not a bad idea.
I'll tell you, I remember when I was a kid, I first started mowing grass, and I remember, because I'd get allowance and stuff back in, and I remember sitting at our table one day and said, "Well, if I'm mowing all this grass, shouldn't I get paid for it?" And I remember my dad saying, "That plate in front of you right there," he said, "That's your payment."
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
He taught my parents taught me real quick. Hey, you want something, you're gonna have to work to get it.
Yeah, that's the way it is, right? That's the way it is.
Yeah, my dad
that's what I did, though.
My dad did me the same way. He'd give me money, and then he'd say, "All right, rent. You're part of the power bill. You're part of the water bill. You're part of the food bill." And then I had nothing, so it was just there.
Yep.
That's so we start just keep it.
Yeah, that's right.
But it taught you responsibilities. That's a lot of things that we.
I'm surprised you didn't say here's rent, here's this, and then you'd have about $2 left. And he said, "Do you plan on getting married when you get older?" And you say, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, here goes the other $2."
Yeah, right.
Well, if there had probably been $2 left, he probably would have said that too.
Yeah. Yep, no doubt. All right, guys. Post coming tomorrow. How's that? Let's switch gears. because I think we've about said all we really can on that without guilting people into stuff.
I'm not beyond that.
I'm not either, but it's early. Let's
And
talk about PulseCon. Oh, go ahead,
Yeah,
John.
I will say, I understand. I mean, we all know we're all feeling the effects of this inflation.
Oh, bad.
It's tight, so I understand if there's people in the group that are going to be struggling just to get their family taken care of. So I don't want nobody to feel bad if they can't help out. But
Yeah,
if
for
you
real.
could, I'm going to tell you what, the ones of y'all that can't afford to do anything, just shoot us a message and say, hey, we're thinking about you, we're praying for you, we're praying for this, whatever. That in itself, just
Yep.
let us know.
Yep.
I mean,
And you know what? That's a great idea, John. And you know what? Just if you're interested in helping in another way, let us know, because there may be opportunities for that too. Right.
Yeah, and also about the trunk or treat.
Yeah.
If you would like to get candy, and
Yeah.
send John and Nancy, or just send them a couple of bucks, $5-10, to help them buy the candy, then that would help a lot too.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you're available, like I said, October the 27th, it's a Friday starting at 4:30 to 6:30, I think. If you're available, come on up and set up with us and help us out. That would be a great help. Help us give out candy and support the group and whatever.
Yep. There you go.
A lot of activities I need to help.
Nancy got a lot of activities planned for them, so we have like a little
Making
we're going to have like a little booth thing set up with a little fishing rod where they throw it over behind it
clothespin.
with a clothespin on it, and then me or her want to be behind it. We'll hang some candy on it and let them reel it back in.
Yeah.
Kids love, just little stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I got ring tosses, bag
But
tosses.
but yeah, I'm going to tell you, candy is not cheap. So
No.
whatever anybody can donate or help out, we'd greatly appreciate it.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right,
Yes. All right.
now let's get on to PulseCon.
Let's do PulseCon. Friday, right? It's 22nd. It'll be 10 a.m. our time. It starts. And I'm going to leave it at that because everybody collects so many different lines here that every one of them's got like an hour or so set aside. I think it is. I had the schedule and then I lost it. So just be aware that it's coming up. The last I heard, all of the G.I. Joe pre-orders for Pulse members will go up at 4 p.m. Eastern, which I think puts it at 3 o'clock our time.
Right.
Because it was supposed to be open to the public at 5 p.m. So double check that information. What we do know is definitely going up for pre-order is the Crimson 3-pack, which is Tomac, Zaymont, and that new Baroness.
Yep.
In that what they're calling that silver coffin box, which is actually pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're interested in that, I know I have to tell you that the gripe list has been long on that because it is the same exact Tomax, same exact Zaymont. The Baroness is quite a bit different, but people were speculating on just how much they did not want to pay for just a new Baroness. But you know what? It's there for you if you want it, if you're able. That's really all I can add to that. I like the figures very much. The gold guns are a huge turnoff for me, but
yeah,
you know what? You can swap those out pretty easy, especially if you're an opener. And if you're a MIB collector, it shouldn't bother you at all because it's just going to sit in a closed box, right?
Yep.
So, what we're going to get for pre-orders, I think, is anybody's guess. To be perfectly honest with you,
I thought we want to see Shadow Tracker and Wolf Spider.
I think those are a good bet. I really do.
And a couple of surprises.
I thought maybe Agent Helix might have been in with them too, but I haven't seen any reveals on that.
Well, see, she's an in-name only. We haven't seen anything on her yet, so I'm kind of I'm going to speculate that we may see a digital render of Helix. I got a list here. Possibly. Here is our name only reveals so far, right? Retro Duke, Retro Scarlet, Quick Kick, Jinx, Airborne, Doc, Big Boa, and Torch. And of course, Agent Helix.
Yes.
I don't think we're going to see digital renders of that Wolf Spider or that Ganja Man there, Shadow Tracker, because they're already done. They're already produced.
Oh yeah.
So
There's
they
people already got Wolf Spider from overseas.
yeah, so that one is another one that just kind of jumped digital render. Mutton Junkyard, good point. We never saw digital renders of those either. Those figures are in production.
They're already there. Yeah. They're already making.
What we have
very
seen,
well could get those.
we have seen a digital render of Helix, though, haven't we?
Yes,
With
we did.
General Hawk, Helix,
Mm-hmm.
Nunchuck. Who else? Shockwave.
Yeah, Shockwave.
Shockwave. Yeah.
Shockwave.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to write this stuff down when they reveal it because I lose track. I forget.
It is getting tough. I mean, like I said, the name only reveals so far Retro Duke, Retro Scarlet, Quick Kick, Jinx, Airborne, Doc, Big Boa, and Torch.
And Buzzer.
We've got
Buzzer.
digital renders of them.
Yep.
Buzzer and Torch, Buzzer
And Ripper.
and Ripper, we've seen the digital renders of
Yes.
because everybody's griping about the knee pads and blah blah blah, the faces, right?
I think they look.
And I don't know why people want to start griping just off digital renders because they're just that, they're renders. What we get's going to look totally different. They need to wait until they actually see the final thing before they start their griping and complaining.
Right. So I think we're going to see pre-orders for Helix, General Hawk, Shockwave, Buzzer, and Ripper. I think those will be up for pre-order, and then I think we're going to see more reveals of that list I just gave you. The name only ones. I think we'll probably see digital renders of those. That's what I think, anyways. Retro Duke, Retro Scarlet, Quick Kick, Jinx, Airborne, Doc, Big Boa, and Torch. I think we're going to see those in digital render, right? And I think we're going to see pre-orders for Helix, General Hawk, Shockwave, Buzzer, and Ripper. Because we've already seen those renders. That's what I think. And it's looking like that Wolf Spider and Ganja King there. They're Walmart exclusives. Those may go up for pre-order. That was where I was going next. The Vamp with Clutch. It's possible they'll go up for pre-order. I think that the MMS set, the Cobra MMS set, is a good shot too. That those will go up for pre-order. I'm going to be curious. What's that?
With the Techno Viper.
Yes. Yep. Yep. I think those will.
Those are going to be hot
maybe.
right there. I'm going to tell you, those two are going to be hot.
It wouldn't surprise me if they didn't pop them out during that, and may even already have them where you can get, because that'd be around. I mean, his tank should be coming anytime now.
That was another thing.
And it had to hit, so they had that MMS plan this whole time.
Right.
It had to.
The one thing that's driving me nuts, and I don't know if you guys have noticed this. The one thing that's driving me nuts. All of this stuff on Pulse it's just sold out. And we're all kind of speculating on whether or not some of that stuff is going to come back up for pre-order this Friday. I suspect that it will. That fire team for the Hiss, that support team for the Hiss has not even come close to being sold out once.
No.
That's really strange to me for the number of Hiss that they sold. Why hasn't that set sold out? That's very strange to me.
I wonder if people are waiting to see what's going to be revealed because, like I said, a lot of people's limited on what they're buying right now.
Yeah, boy, that's true.
I honestly, I had 2 sets pre-ordered and I canceled one of them. I still got the other one. I may end up canceling it. It depends on how things go or what the deal, but I said I was only going to do the exclusive stuff, which I did, but I've turned around and canceled over half of it because it's just too much at one time.
It's too much. Yeah, it is too much.
There is a lot of them.
I was very happy. I did get my snow job yesterday. He was always one of my favorites. He was on my pre-order list, and I had canceled him, and he popped up for a short time the other day, week before last, for order again. And it's just like, you know what? I talked to my wife real quick about it, and I snapped one up. I couldn't help it. And I'm glad I got him because he's actually pretty phenomenal.
Still waiting on mine.
Me too. I'll be here tomorrow.
Yeah, wow. I mean, how the heck did I do that?
I'm telling you, I think they backfill these. They start with the most recent orders and then fill backwards.
Well, that is really weird. Alphabetical order or something? That's kind of strange.
I don't know.
Jeez.
I got my shipping notice last Tuesday that I had left the building, and still today it is still sitting where it was at before.
Wow.
In Indiana.
I'm gonna tell you, the Galactus, the HasLab Galactus, I waited until the last minute to back it when I backed it, and I got mine as much as 2 or 3 days before some people got theirs backed it the first day. That was some of them in this group, some other groups I'm in, and I got mine like way earlier for them. So that's why I say I think they somehow backfill them. They go to the end and work their way backwards or something. I don't know.
See, that is very strange because I literally, guys, I put him back on order that one day, week before last, where he popped back up, and I got him yesterday. So, I mean, that's very weird. I don't think that's right, actually, but you know,
yeah, it is what it is.
Long as they got enough to fill all of them, that's
right. Well, right. No, that's
true.
That is true.
If they run out and had to cancel some of the earlier ones, now they'd be a lot of upset people.
I do think they will announce that the Hiss is going to start shipping tomorrow too, or Friday.
I don't know about that one. I saw last week.
It's all. Oh, sorry, guys, but it said all fall, and fall literally starts this week.
That's right, fall does start this week.
Yeah, it does. I guess it's possible.
And it was earlier because I know the Sentinel, and then the very next year they done Galactus, and both of those ended right toward the end of August, and it was like the middle of October when they shipped, when they started shipping. But the Hiss tank was what ended in July, sort of like the Dragonfly, if I ain't mistaken. So you figure it probably would be about September.
Maybe. We're gonna find out. And
I think they got a jump on it because it got backed early. I think it probably
well, that's possible.
Before. Yeah,
that is possible. We're gonna find out.
They had a month head start on it. Or you would think anyway.
I did see some more bad news today, and I'm not being sarcastic when I say that because it is genuinely bad news for those of you guys that were able to keep your pre-orders up. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the amount of stuff that has been moved way up. Big Ben ship date now is 10/1. This one's surprising. Tunnel Rat is shipping on 9/28 this month. Range Vipers 10/1, not November anymore. Firefly
is that
9/27. What's that?
Is that on Pulse or Walmart?
These are all the Pulse numbers.
Oh.
I don't know what Walmart's doing. Walmart may actually be earlier on the Big Ben.
That's what I'm fixing to look and see it more.
Yeah. Firefly, as of today, was moved up to 9/27. The Crimson Vipers moved up to 9/27. Lowlight, 9/27. And this one is kind of odd. The Desert Snake Eyes was supposedly releasing on 9/1. So he's 2 weeks late. But yeah, September 27th seems to be the happy date all of a sudden that there's another 5 figures, which for those of you that do some quick math is a lot of money. At the end of the month.
September 27th is Big Ben and Range Vipers for me.
So there you go.
From Walmart.
Right. And you guys did or did not pay for those?
I think mine.
I can't figure out if I did or not.
See, here's the new policy. I looked this up. The new policy is you pay. You pay at the time of order
Yeah,
for pre-orders at Walmart.
I'm pretty sure mine.
I kind of hope that's the case.
Yeah. Well, see, and if I'd have remembered that, I would have not canceled my pre-orders because I'd already paid for them. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
And
but,
see, I canceled my Big Bens. I had Big Ben with Walmart and Pulse both, and I canceled both of them. I may regret it, but I'm taking a chance to find them later.
Mine too.
If not, I know they're going to release him in his classic colors.
Yeah,
because this is the Night Force version, so I'm pretty sure we'll get him in the regular.
I have to tell you guys, I'm having I went back in. You guys call me nuts, but it's a December date, and I think I can manage. I put the Hiss Fire team back on for December. Steel Brigade 2-pack, I put one of those back on, and I put Tripwire back on because those are all supposed to be December releases. I just took a gamble on those, and I tell you why. Right, I'll tell you why. I was really surprisingly more disappointed that I did not get the Valkyries than I thought I was going to be. And I have to be honest with you, that set seems to have come and gone, and no one really talks about it.
Yeah.
It didn't. There's no buzz about that set, nothing. And I think it's because of the Trouble Bubbles. They kind of stole everything's thunder.
Oh, yeah.
And I am really, really upset at the fact that I had to cancel my Trouble Bubbles. So maybe Friday, maybe something happens between now and then. I'll be able to snap a couple up. We'll find out. But that's the reason I did put certain things back on pre-order, because I just have a suspicion once that Hiss tank is in people's hands, those fire teams are going to disappear, and they're going to disappear in minutes.
Yeah.
I really do believe that. Yeah. So there's a ton of stuff, guys, and these release dates, this is bad. I mean, we had September figures in August, right? And those turned out to be peg warmers. I don't know about you guys, but Shipwreck, Gung Ho, Copperhead, they're just sitting. They're not moving at the Walmarts here.
See, I haven't even seen. Only ones I've seen around here is Rock and Roll and Shipwreck.
Yeah,
the other three from that wave, I have not seen them at all in the stores around here.
Wow, they're just sitting around here.
Well, I saw them all at GameStop and Target, but I never saw Bazooka.
I take that back. I did see Copperhead at the GameStop in Oxford, but I never saw Bazooka, and I never saw
Torpedo.
I never saw
Torpedo. I mean, you saw Torpedo in Oxford.
Yeah, I saw a lot of Torpedo. Torpedo is gone. Yes, I will say that.
At the GameStop.
Yeah, it was Torpedo, Shipwreck, and Copperhead.
Copperhead. Okay, so we didn't see but I didn't see him at Target. I hadn't seen him at Target or Walmart though.
No. I haven't seen him at Target at all. I've seen him at Walmart's. Both of my Walmarts have got him.
I've seen him at Targets, but like I said, no Bazooka. But thanks to Mike Matthews, he's got me one of those.
Nice.
And at the deep, he got some in this week. Or
what was that?
Bazooka.
Oh, Bazooka.
Oh, cool. Yep. I'm going to hit up Mike for all my non-exclusives. I think that's the best I can do. I am hoping and praying that we have an avalanche of stuff from Walmart, because all of these figures exist.
Mm-hmm.
They're sitting somewhere waiting for somebody to get wise enough to get these Lady J's and the Gung Ho's off the pegs. I'm hoping we just get an avalanche of figures.
The Target exclusives don't seem to be hard to come by now. I mean, the Oxford, they've still got about 5 Dusties hanging there. Tiger.
Oh yeah.
The troop builders, they might go a little quicker, but even the troop builders, I saw quite a few of them.
I think the economic shift has happened with more than just us. And I think we're really starting to see it, because a lot of the stuff is not moving. So I'm hoping that we actually got a shot at some of this stuff. But a lot of the people are waiting until they get the word things are shipping and then they order. Well, I suppose, but they've had everything marked sold out for 2 or 3 weeks now. So I don't know if that. was going to work all that great.
I'm
I did
honestly
notice
surprised.
something. I did notice something on Hasbro on their website. If you go to the main page and pull up G.I. Joe under the brands, everything is sold out. But if you click to the top and hit in stock, everything shows in stock. I did notice.
Yeah,
this.
I've been doing that, and I haven't seen it. I hit Snow Job the other day, but
Yeah,
I haven't hit anything else.
It's a glitch because you can go on there right now and go straight to brands and hit G.I. Joe, and everything is sold out. Everything.
Yeah, and it's the older stuff too.
In stock. Even
yeah,
the
they
older
need to
stuff,
clean that up.
Then you hit in stock and it goes to the next page and everything's
Right.
pre-order and everything. Even the pre-order is sold out. But once you go to the next page, you see it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm glad Timothy showed me that how to go to and you sort through the old, put all the new ones up there. Because everything I was like, this is all old stuff. What's going on?
Well, I know we've said this before. Emily made the statement at whatever the heck it was they did in June, Yojo June, that she made the statement when all of these release dates came out, and we pretty well knew at that point in time that from September to November we were pooched, and it's gotten worse because that expanded from August to December now. She had said that as of January 1st, 2024, everything's caught up, and then we should be back to a five-figure wave per quarter, a deluxe figure per quarter, and the new vehicle sets one per quarter.
Yeah.
If that's the case, it's going to be a lot more manageable for guys. If this continues, I'm telling you, man, you start putting holes this big in guys' collections, that angry turns to discouraged pretty quick.
Yep.
And they'll just go, no, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yep.
I'm just not doing it anymore. And I got to tell you guys, the one that's bothering me the most is the Trouble Bubbles. As iconic as Trouble Bubbles are, they made those limited run on Hasbro Pulse exclusives. That was a stupid move.
I got a feeling they'll probably go up for pre-order again Friday.
There better be a bunch of them because,
or they may be saving them just for that. Because they may just put them back in stock. Because surely to goodness, I mean, it ain't like they can't call a factory up and say, "Hey, let's do another run and get them over here." And go ahead.
Exactly. Well, they did it with Mindbender, which, by the way, a lot of guys Mindbender started showing up this week that have been ordered for a year.
Yeah.
Which I was actually happy to see. For those guys, anyways. I don't know. Like I said, the Trouble Bubble really makes me angry because that is way too iconic to make limited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And right, the $10 cheaper if it's the Python Patrol version, which those went up for pre-order this week. Which I don't know. I don't know if Hasbro jumped the gun, if Target jumped the gun by a week, or what happened there. I don't know, but more Python Patrol stuff.
I'm surprised the Steel Brigade hasn't sold out.
It hasn't?
But it's supposed to be general release, right?
Yes.
It's not exclusive.
Yes.
So
right.
I'm kind of holding off on it. I'm going to take my chances when it comes out, maybe, because I just,
Yeah, I don't know. I just needed some peace of mind because, like I said, the Valkyries is really bothering me a lot more than it should have.
Well, and I wonder if they won't have more of those this Friday.
I'm hoping I would still, if I'm able to do anything, I'm still going to prioritize the Trouble Bubbles over that. Because I suspect these are going to show up at the shows for cheap in a few months. The Valkyries.
I would about bet we'll see Python and Valkyries at Target before long too.
Well, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I don't do the Python Patrol stuff, so I mean, I thought about it, but I never saw them on clearance. So that was my mistake. I sat around waiting for them to go on clearance, and they never went on clearance, and then they just disappeared.
Yeah.
And as of last week, they disappeared from Target's site. The originals were still up for sale on the site, but those are gone now too. They'll probably show up at Ollie's in mass any minute now.
Probably.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. I will say this: if you're a vintage collector, here's the bright spot. If you are a vintage collector and you got a couple of dollars to rub together in your pocket, boy, the prices are tanking on a lot of that stuff. If you are missing parts or pieces or figures, boy, we're getting a whole lot more reasonable on that stuff all of a sudden because some of these sales are spectacular on some of the bigger sites. On the not the sites, but the bigger pages. I don't even want to discuss. You know what? We got a month. Give me a lay off the supersets and stuff. I am so tempted to want to talk about that snake mothership, that, but I'm not going to until we know something. Because
oh yeah, that's got me scared now.
the pictures of that thing that when we saw it at Toy Fair, it was pretty cool. But I don't know. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But that sucker would be pretty pricey. But it would look awfully cool. I don't know. I don't buy the figures, so I just don't know. So, if any of you are feeling bad, those of us that are McFarlane, there's the required McFarlane for the week. If you are a McFarlane collector, you can be pretty disappointed with them too, because he is dumping stuff that we've been waiting for a long time. And those have gone up in price. I don't know if you guys noticed that or not, but on McFarlane.com, they're just a hair under $30 a piece now because most of them are the collector editions. So Hawkman, Firestorm, Sinestro. There's a couple of, believe it or not, there's been a couple of nice Batmans announced. We got Hush Superman that's starting to show up. The Robin that we didn't know was coming is now showing up. He's killing it too. And I don't know if you guys saw the Lost Kingdom Aquaman figures. The figures are but that Storm the Seahorse, you guys have got to look that up.
Oh, really?
You remember we grew up with Super Friends. Aquaman always had this, he was always riding around on the big Seahorse.
Yeah.
Well, they've got one that's got like all these iridescent colors and everything else with a saddle on her, and she's big enough for a 7-inch figure. That thing is gorgeous. That thing is gorgeous. So it's just like, oh, you're freaking killing me, man. You guys are just killing everything. And my wife and I were talking about that today, and she goes, you know what? We've been doing this for a long time. And she said, I used to get pretty angry because it seemed like they dumped this stuff on you guys at Christmas time. And it was the absolute worst time to do it. But she said, I haven't seen it like this before. Because these aren't kids' toys.
No.
You guys were buying kids' toys, and all toys got dumped in September, October, right? That's just the way it worked. She says, now, these are not kids' toys, and these are collector toys, and they're dumping them on you at the wrong time. She's like, why not at tax time? If you're going to get $1,200 worth of stuff dumped on you in 6 weeks, why not tax time?
Right.
Not Christmas time.
No, not at all.
It's like, that's, you know what? Maybe I get it. I mean, that's why they all got canceled, because it's just like.
You think we get it bad? You want to be a Lego collector.
No.
Those guys, the stuff that they're supposed to get hit with is crazy.
I read an article about Lego the other day. It was fascinating. Do you know that their profits are way up this year?
Oh yeah, and their prices are too.
They're the world's largest toy company at this point in time by distribution, by sales, anyways.
Yeah.
They are still family owned. They're not even a publicly traded company. All that money is going to one family, and it's just like, holy cow.
But the stuff they're putting out is great. I mean, Marvel, DC,
they got all the licenses.
Star Wars. They got everything, and they're just absolutely killing it, man, with the stuff they're putting out.
It's just, I swear, somehow along the way, Lego turned into the company that the other companies that they went to like begging them, please do our stuff, instead of the other way around, right? Just if you ain't in Lego, if no one's making your stuff in Legos, you ain't anything. I mean,
they're doing diorama sets now, like the Battle of Endor, where they're in the trash compactor, Han and Leia and Luke and Chewie. And they're just, it's amazing. I mean, they're great, and they're selling like crazy off the shelves.
Did you? This is not political. This is just fact. Did you see where one of the guys that were indicted for some of the January 6th mess was actually one of the items that they used against him in prosecution was that he had the Lego Capitol building at his house. And the stupid thing is so accurate to the actual Capitol that they used that as evidence against him.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I did not know that.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. If y'all haven't seen that Lego Voltron,
Which
look
Voltron
that
is
thing
it?
up.
The Lions or the
The
Cows?
Lions.
Yeah.
Look
I
that
bet
thing
that's
up.
cool. How big is it?
It's huge. You got an Optimus Prime too.
Yeah, that Prime is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's just the Voltron's just as big as that Prime.
Nice. I don't know, guys. You know what? Let's end with this. I hope everybody's doing good. I hope
wait,
everybody's.
Before you
I hope-
take off,
Yeah.
I got something here.
Yeah, I was trying to find something. That's what I hate Facebook. You find something and you never find it again.
Yep.
I get the same ad every day, and then when I go to look for it, I can't find it.
That's right.
I don't know if you guys have seen this, but it's called Mundo Toys.
Mondo Toys, yeah.
It looks like 6-inch figures that's blown up into 12-inch figures. Because they got like Batman and Harley Quinn from the animated series. They got Sabretooth from Marvel, but they're the 1/6 scale, 12
Right,
inch top.
right. Huh.
And I don't know if somehow they're getting copies of the molds and just blowing them up or what.
Could be.
But the figures really look cool.
Huh.
They got an animated series Catwoman that's got an alternate head with the blonde hair.
Yep.
You know? And I was trying to find it where I could show it, but I can't. I see the ad every single day until I go to look for it. Now I can't find it.
All right, the second annual Rocket City Toy and Comic Expo is October 7th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Find toys from all your childhood favorites and comics from golden age to modern. There will be over 55 vendor booths with a great mix of toys and comics. Admission is $5. Kids 12 and under are free. And it's going to be at the JC Building at John Hunt Park, 2180 Airport Road Southwest, Huntsville, Alabama is the address where it will be. I went there last year and it was really, really good.
I'm hoping to get up there.
But they're going to have 55 vendors this time, which that's going to be more than they had last year. I'm making plans to attend if I don't fall again. So,
Well, I certainly hope
and it's
you
what's the dates on it again?
don't.
October 7th. It's only one day.
Yep,
Oh, it's
my
just
parents'
one day.
birthday.
Only a $5 admission too.
Yeah, and that's the kicker. I wasn't gonna the Birmingham show, the Birmingham Comic Expo is next week, but it's $40 a ticket.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's I'm sorry, guys, that's crazy. Unless you're going in there looking to spend a bunch of money, $40 is not a go stroll around day. I'm sorry, it's not.
No.
That's way too expensive.
Yeah.
I would rather go up to Huntsville and make a day of it for $5 and spend the extra in gas than just give it to somebody. I'm just not interested.
I can't
Okay.
believe it.
Okay. Well, we got less than 2 minutes, so like I said, I hope everybody's doing good. How's that? I mean, I genuinely, I hope somehow, some way you can figure out a way to help with the Christmas drive for these kids. That we're a big group. Money is tight for everybody, but because we're a big group, we should be able to lean on each other enough so that we can cover, as a group, cover 16 kids without any real difficulty. Right? Does that make sense? None of us should be sitting here trying to figure out how we're going to do it all ourselves, because we really don't need to. So, but we'll find out, right? I mean, we'll find out. So, post tomorrow with all of the details. Anything else you guys got before we sign off?
Everyone have a great week. Stay on your feet.
Yeah, that's always good advice, isn't it?
Always.
Everybody have fun Friday when they're trying to pre-order all this stuff.
Yeah. I suspect there'll be a bunch more information.
Why don't we do this? Let's end the show and have a moment of silence for all the wallets. It's gonna take a hit this week.
Yeah, exactly.
Poor wallet.
Yep.
Be the dog house.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I hear my wallet in there crying right now. It's just making a weeping noise.
No doubt, no doubt.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
I'm thinking about getting a weekend job.
Yep. Well, gentlemen, it's been awesome again. Hopefully, you guys are all watching this during the week, and by the end of this week, I think we're going to have a real good handle on how this toy drive is going to go, how this Christmas drive is going to go. I think that's a fair assessment, right? I think that's fair.
Yes, yes.
So that's that.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys.
Good night.